pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright, Marion County Commission meeting, Monday, September 15th, 2025, 12:30 p.m. So, I need to open the official public hearing at this time and allow members of the public to speak regarding the budget. Is there anybody wanting to speak on the budget? Seeing and hearing none, I'll close the public comment. The commission review the consideration of the budget. Okay. And adopt the budget through a motion and a vote. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0. Then I'll close the budget hearing and resume with the regular meeting.
I'm gonna have you guys sign this one.
Okay.
Just that one page.
Okay. Back in our regular commission meeting, this time it'll be public forum. Does anybody have anything from the public to say? Hearing none, seeing none, close the public comment. Move on to the agenda approval. Need to be added? Hearing none, seeing none. Move on. Administrative business, Ashley.
Okay, we have the minutes of September 8th.
Everybody had a chance to read the minutes. Any corrections? Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion in a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Okay, then we have some change orders.
All the ones that were in the packet?
Yes,
Okay. Is there two signing sheets or just one?
just one. One's just for review. Okay, we have early checks in the amount of $37,623.03.
Questions with the warrants? Seeing none, I'd make a motion to approve early checks.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, one last thing. It's that time again that we need to decide if we're gonna do the Christmas dinner. We need to pick a date and location. The Lake Hall, we could do it December 6th or the 20th, or the Florence Legion, December 6th, 13th, or 20th. If we do the Legion, there's no charge if they cater, so that we could have them cater as well. Otherwise, we gotta find somebody else if we do the Lake Hall.
Did the Legion last year, right? It's fine, I think. I don't hear any complaints about it being there.
No,
Suits me.
Anybody else got any input on it?
What was the charge from the Legion to cater it last year?
they didn't cater last year. We had the Brandon Iron cater that. But it did cost, I think it was $100 to rent the place, but we won't have to pay that if they cater. And how much it costs to cater is gonna depend on what we choose. And I haven't gotten a menu from them yet.
They're usually pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Legion's probably usually pretty cheap. Walk over to a
Reasonable.
inexpensive.
Ain't nothing cheap anymore.
Well, that's why I said reasonable.
Yeah. So I'm in favor of the Legion.
I'm fine with it.
Would you like 6th, 13th, or 20th?
I think that probably
Like the 6th.
more based on staff. That's
December 6th. Before it
I
gets
think
busy.
earlier probably better.
Before it gets busy.
CAC is that week, isn't it? But
it is that week, but
but you'll be
six
back.
would be before it.
Right. Oh,
I think it's the 9th.
Tear a couple of pages off.
Can't remember what.
Yeah.
I should be the one that you should be able to ask for that.
On a Saturday.
I thought that that KAC was the week of the second through the whatever, that first week. I guess it doesn't really matter because
And my wife put it in her calendar, I didn't put it. Yeah.
not be there if it's on the 13th probably.
I
6th
think
is
the 6th is
Saturday.
probably the best.
It won't, KAC won't be on a Saturday.
Right, exactly. The 6th work okay? That's all I have.
Okay. As part of the budget process, we did have the 8th Judicial District budget, and that's a separate sign-off. I met with Jan and Nikki, and we did amend theirs slightly to reduce it, and that's what was in our budget. So these just need the signature of the chairman, and it would be as amended here, so. There's three separate sets.
Do we need a motion or anything?
Sometimes in the past we have and sometimes we haven't.
Get a motion to allow the chairman to sign the amendments.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Motion to second, all those in favor?
Aye.
5-0.
So on each set there, see where this, do you see it? It's right under the red circle.
Oh,
Right here.
there's no line.
Yeah, right, I know. Okay, and then the next one. Yeah. The reason there are three is because they have three different budgets.
That's it.
That's it. Get these to you if you need them. I do have one salary sheet that I'm going to request that you all approve because the department head is requesting a retroactive approval. And this is for a step raise for one of the employees in the treasurer's office. It is an appropriate raise. It's just the fact of the retroactive piece that I would like you all to approve. She had requested it before, but I was working on the budget and I asked her to wait. And the employee has reached the milestone prior.
Anybody have anything on that? I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the salary change for Julia Ensminger, from $3,697 to $3,770, effective 6/21/25.
That's a one-step raise, just so y'all.
Second that.
Motion and a second, all those in favor? Aye. 5-0.
Okay.
Goes right, 9th through the 11th.
Oh, okay, so it's the second week. Okay, so I asked Tom to be here. We have an opportunity. I know that we had a couple of us attended the Caterpillar rebuild event in Republic County several months ago. And I've been in contact with Ryan Stanley, who is the person that is in charge of that program for us. And he has been out and evaluated some of our equipment. And so Tom's here in case you have questions, but we have 2 motor graders that would be a good candidate for that. And you wanna tell them about what you're looking at potentially having done, Tom?
Okay. What they do on the rebuild program is they basically take the machine in, they strip it down to the bare frame. And you can choose what you want done, but we've chosen they do the harnesses, the hoses, all the cylinders, the engine, the transmission, the final drives, the differential, basically the front wheels, everything but, and some of the interior, like if the seat's shot, we put a new seat in it, and everything else, so. And then basically you've got a brand new machine, which carries a 4-year, 6,000 hour warranty. basically what we did, we picked out 2 machines. I mean, we thoroughly went over them to see what we wanted, what needed attention and that, so. We didn't feel we needed to have, we can have them painted if we wanted to, but we elected out of that, cause the paint was
Very
good enough,
substantial.
was good enough to run.
Electronics involved,
What's that?
computers, electronics,
Yeah, well, one of them's an
right?
older one that doesn't have
Didn't have any.
just a couple of ECMs on it, but yeah, them are all
And
real.
here, I've got a copy of, the information that they sent for each one, if you wanna look at that. So the cost for rebuilding, when they looked it over, we have 2 quotes. For one of the models, it's $275,000, the other one is $260,000. A new unit is around $400,000 or more right now. If we decide to go ahead and do both of them, they'll take $5,000 off of each grader. Yeah, so a total of $10,000 off, so that would be, so that would be $525,000. In addition to that, Foley is promoting a 3-year 0% financing for this program. That is through the end of this year, so we'd need to sign up before the end of the year. And so if we divide that out, that $525,000 out into 3-year payments, that's $175,000 a year. I did manage to get $175,000 into the special equipment budget. I don't know if y'all saw that for 26. And the other thing is they have space available in Wichita. If we decide before Wednesday, they can go ahead and get 2 of the units in within the next 2 weeks, and we should be able to have them back in November. Or at least by the end of November.
Quick.
That's a quick turnaround.
So it's kind of a good opportunity. Just, we've been visiting about this for a few weeks, but we just had this opportunity for this opening on Friday.
When they come with the financing program, we looked a little harder.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
So,
They didn't like my 0 for 36 years.
We tried.
so that would be a
I
good
thought it was nice
opportunity.
that they had the actual operators of this equipment going over with them, which pinpointed a lot of things that needed done or
I don't see
had
it.
been done recently, so. That was even a benefit, I think, to see the other morning when they were looking for it.
Working through Bender on this one?
Huh?
You working through Bender on this?
Ryan
He's-
Stanley.
Yeah,
Product
Ryan
support.
Stanley.
Parts and service representative, I guess.
Yeah, Jeff Bender is more about the new, he's more on the new side, not the rebuild. The idea is behind the rebuild program is that you should be able to get a second lifetime out of the equipment. Might be a good fit for us, being revenue neutral and
Finding ways to save somewhere.
These 2 older machines, that's,
Take advantage of the
the
zero.
one's in bad shape.
One of them is one of our older one, has 19,000, almost 20,000 hours. The other one is an M series, it's a little newer, it's pre-emissions, it's got almost 14,000 hours, but the oil samples are coming back, it's not bad, but it's starting to show maybe some bearing wear or something in that, so that was one of the reasons we picked that one to think about. The older ones are mostly spares, I mean, we do have, right now, there's 2 that run all the time, but there'll be a 3rd one when our other man gets back to work, so.
I noticed they reset the hour meters to 0 too.
Well, they may keep the hour meter running, I don't know.
That's it in the quote, that's all.
Oh, well, maybe they do, I didn't ask them that.
Keep track of the rebuild.
Right, well, I mean, with the. But. don't know if anybody wants any comparison, you know, what we paid in the past on them last two used machines we bought, you know, I kinda thought, well, would we be better looking at a used machine, but, you know, the last one we purchased was 280,000. And he thought our trade-in would be worth, the one would be 30 to 40,000, so I mean, you're still looking at more money to buy a used one with who knows how many hours on it, or close to it.
And no warranty.
Well,
Used
I think
one.
that last one we had just a little bit of warranty, but hardly nothing, yeah. Just a little bit of powertrain warranty was it.
So 6,000 hours to take care of at least 1 year, maybe 2,
6,000 hours, that should cover 5 years.
5 years, okay.
But I think it's 4
2,080
it's 4
hours.
years or 6,000 hours.
Only 2,080 hours.
What?
If you work solid 40s,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, there's only 2,080 hours.
right.
Normally I wouldn't bring this and ask for a decision on the same day, but I'm going to do that today.
Well, you have money in the budget that blows it.
Yeah.
So the other, don't foresee any other steals or deals coming your way, do you?
You'll have a back before it snows.
Well, that's kind of what we were thinking, if they can, yeah, they got 2 spots that'll be open. But if we don't, he said they'll probably fill them. Republic County is doing their 3rd rebuild this year. It's about to go in the shop. So, I mean, it's a going thing, I think, everybody's.
I think Clark's point, this is the way to go. We get a warranty out of it and we get,
Virtually a brand new machine for half the cost
so I'm in favor.
as long as they're spares and they're not gonna wait even so, it's only, we're looking at a couple months downtime, so.
And then it frees up other units to maybe potentially down the way.
And we do have a few other units that would
Oh, yeah.
work for this program.
I'd make a motion to move forward with this opportunity.
Second.
Mike got the second just by a hair.
125,000.
Yeah. Over 3 years, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5-0.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else?
Not from me.
Thanks. So when we did buy the grader and the tractor and trailer, the belly dump trailer, and then we committed to the dump truck, that will, at the time, I told you that we would have to amend the special equipment budget for the current year. And so this is the draft of that budget. The ending cash on this is what I used for the starting cash of next year's budget. And this, it's just a draft, but I wanted you to see it. We will have to go, I'm planning to go ahead and publish that this week, and then you'd have the budget hearing for this amendment would be on payday on the 29th of September. And on here, I've listed out the equipment that we bought this year already. So this form is pretty simple. It shows with our actual adopted budget in the first column. And, you know, it's just one page. Does everybody get one? And then it shows the proposed amended budget. And you'll notice the very top line, the unencumbered cash. We were expecting 189,000, and then we ended up with the 481 was our actual beginning cash. That's why we were able to spend. So we still have 87,000 in this year's budget. Like if you go down to the expenditures where it says purchase of equipment, the things at the bottom are the things that we purchased this year out of here. So we've got the belly dump trailer, the 2020 International Semi, the grader, pickup, and then a dump truck out of here. And then that still leaves the 87,218 if we have something come up that we need to spend. If we don't spend it this year, we'll carry that cash over. Hopefully we won't need it next year, but if we do, then we can always amend the budget next year too, so. Does anybody have questions about this?
How much on the two used graders that we bought this year, those were these purchases, right? How much interest are we saving on these with the 0% financing?
So I'd have to look. So those graders up top, the ones that are on the lease purchase, we have a total of 4 graders up there, 2 used and 2 new that we bought a year or 2 ago. And I'd have to double check those rates. I don't have that information with me. But that other grader that we bought was $149,000 this year that we paid cash for with a trade-in. So, but what you're asking is on the ones that we purchased on lease purchase.
If we were to buy these on a lease purchase, how much would our interest be versus the 0? I'm just trying to show
Value.
value.
Okay,
If we went out for bids, you mean,
Yeah, if we were
right now, 4%.
4%, so
4% on $500,000.
so it's a pretty significant savings.
You run into 6 figures, or 2%'s quite a bit.
And I'm just trying to show value to the county.
yeah, I was misunderstanding your question. You weren't asking about the previous ones. You were
I'm
asking about the one we did today.
I'm just, ballpark figure, showing what we're saving, why not?
Yeah, the other thing here is that cat dozer. Is that the 6-way blade dozer? I'm just wondering, 'cause at once upon a time, we were hearing feedback that maybe it wasn't.
So we've paid the final payment on that this year. We weren't using it and we sold it. So we don't have that anymore.
All right. That's what I was wanting to get to at the end of
Yes.
this. So,
It is gone.
yeah, all right.
Fed lowers the discount rate this week, might be able to get it down in the 3s.
Okay.
Does anybody have any other questions about this or feedback?
Not negative.
Okay, yes, it isn't, that's true.
It's just shy of $8,000 positive still, so.
For next year, of course, not 2026, but for the 2027 budget, I know it's a little early to talk about that, but we used to transfer $600,000 every year to the equipment fund. Then we went down to 500,000 a year, and then the last couple of years, we've only done 350,000. And so we're this year and next year, I put back in the 500, but as we go along, we're doing it okay with replacing some of our heavy equipment, but we may need to look at a bump on that for the next budget cycle. So just kind of a heads up there for you. So anyway, I'll get this published unless anybody has any issues with it, and then we'll get it, do the budget hearing on the 29th for this. Okay? And I believe that is all that I had.
All right. Been patiently waiting and right on time. David, sit in this chair.
got some folders to hand out here. There's also some pens and chapsticks here if anybody wants some of those. So, I'm David Lamb with KCAP. And just kind of want to go over our programs and benefits and then see if you guys have any questions for us or any concerns that we need to take back to the office for you. So just as a starter, I like to start on the right side of your folder, and I'm not going to go through all these pages and discuss everything on there, but we always like to remind people that K-Camp is not an insurance company. We're a pool that's owned by the county members. So with that, we have a little different view on how we handle claims and just benefits and everything that an insurance company would do. We feel like we are there to try to help the counties. And obviously, we have to take in enough contribution to keep us going financially, but we're not out there looking for ways to deny claims. We want to help you as much as we can. So just a little background, K-Camp was formed in 1991 with 37 counties, and we are now up to 81 of the 105 counties in Kansas that are members. We are bidding an additional new county this year, so we'll see how that goes here in a few weeks. We've also added some small cities, and then we have some extension districts and various small entities within counties that we also insure. There is a map on page 11 that shows the counties that are currently members of K-Camp. And then the page after that shows the growth over about the last 10 years. So it's been a hard market for insurance in the last few years, but over that time, K-Camp has still grown. We have consistently been coming in lower than commercial insurance when we do bid on counties. In fact, we just bid one or delivered bids earlier this week, or last week, excuse me. And we came in about $11,000 lower than a commercial bid that they had, and our deductibles and benefits were better. So we feel like we're still in really good shape compared to insurance companies and what we can do for you. K-Camp is governed by a board of trustees that are all elected members or elected officials from member counties. And on page 14, excuse me, there is a listing there of the board members, and there has been an update to that since this was printed. The one on the very top, John Smith from Stanton County, did not run for office this year, but he had stayed on the board until we got a replacement found for him. So we have recently added Amy De La Cerda, Harper County Clerk, to the board, and John is no longer on there. So with that, Keith Becker from McPherson County has moved up to president of the board.
What board is Keith not on?
I'm sorry, what? Oh, yeah, he's very
Not a lot of
busy. Yes. But yeah, he's moved up to president, and then Martin Boy from Grant County moved up to vice president. The page after that just shows the staff at K-Camp. Right now, we are looking for a new permanent administrator. David Luke had been our administrator for the past 12 or 13 years. He resigned earlier this year, but has agreed to stay on as a consultant for us right now while we're looking for a new administrator. So at the moment, David Knutson, who's been our CPA since the late 90s, has stepped in as the acting administrator just to keep things moving along. He's very familiar with our programs and everything's going pretty well with him. We are still looking for filling another position. It shows vacant on deputy administrator. Odds are they would move someone from claims up to that position, and we're really looking for another claims person. So there's a lot going on there right now. And then when you get to the last two on that page, Ed Harbin and myself, we're both part-time employees and work from home. And we just travel around and work with counties. Ed's a retired sheriff from Ellis County, so he's dealing mainly with the sheriffs in the counties, and I'm going around doing meetings like this and just available for questions if anything comes up. Our various coverage lines are shown on page 16. And just one to note on that, the cyber liability, I think you would have received a notice on that sometime in the last couple of months. We have bumped our coverage up considerably on that, just from the kinds of claims we've seen coming through on cyber in the last couple of years. We did go up to $1 million limit on cyber for occurrence. And we've done that this year with no additional cost to the counties. When you get back to page 19, that one and 2 pages after just kind of show how our claims payments are structured. The property one on 19 is a good one to show the examples there. There's always a deductible on the bottom layer that would be the county responsibility. And then the blue bar going across there is the part that K-Camp actually pays out of our funds. And then K-Camp has reinsurance as we go on up to higher levels than that. The green bar there, County Reinsurance Limited, is actually a pool of pools like K-Camp from all over the country. So K-Camp is actually one of the owners of CRL. So that's where we get our next level of insurance, or reinsurance, at least for now. And the CRL Property Plus above that is also through County Reinsurance Limited. That is one where all of the pools like K-Camp have invested money into that program to self-insure part of that reinsurance level. I will tell you that our reinsurance costs have gone up tremendously in the last few years. Part of that is due to our claims and claims in Kansas, but a lot of it is just due to claims nationwide and the way it's hit them hard. They've had to increase, to the point that K-Camp is talking about looking at other reinsurance options. They decided not to go out and take any bids this year, but it's something the board will look at again next year to see if there is a better option for K-Camp to jump out of this and get in with a different reinsurer. At this point, I don't know if that option exists or not, but it's definitely something we want to look at, because with the amount that our reinsurance costs have gone up, we want to find a way to limit that in the upcoming years so that we don't keep passing on more costs to the counties. The liability and crime structures are similar. There's always the deductible and then the K-Camp retention, and then it goes to various types of reinsurance above that. Page 22 is one I want to look at just a little bit. These are different ratios, but the baseline column kind of in the middle of the page is what is considered a good ratio for insurance companies. And if you'll notice on all of those, K-Camp's ratios are better than the baseline for insurance. So it's just showing that K-Camp is financially strong. Everything's going along well. It's just unfortunate that costs have gone up so much in the last few years. The board will look at these ratios every year along with our fund balances to determine if any dividends could be paid back to counties. We did do that a few years ago, back in 2016 or 17. And then right after that was when we had about 3 really bad claims years in a row. So we haven't paid any more dividends out since then. But it is something the board will look at every year to see if it's possible to pay some dividends back. So hopefully we can get back to a position where we can start doing that. The risk management overview kind of talks about what's on the left side of your folder. So if you want to jump over to the things on that side, I'd like to highlight a few of those risk management programs. And these benefits are a lot of the things that K-Camp does that we like to talk about. You're going to get this from us where you won't from a lot of insurance companies. The very first thing listed there under consulting services is the Attorney Assist. That's been a very popular program with our members. And I'm not sure if you guys have used that much or not, but it goes through Forest Roads at Folston. And Forrest is great to work with. He is really good with HR issues. And I know in the time when I was county clerk, I had a good counselor to work with, and he would still tell me, why don't you run that by Forrest before we make any decisions? Just get another opinion on it. So that service is always there and available to you at no cost to your county. And then just kind of jumping down through there a little bit, the Know Before program is one we've been pushing quite a bit in the last few years, just cyber awareness. We really encourage people to use that for their county, sign up and do it. That's also at reduced rates through K-Camp. The Kansas legal-based jail guidelines, our policies and things we can get out for your sheriff. The roof maintenance program is another one just in the last 2 or 3 years that we've started working on. We have contracted with Stanfield Roofing and negotiated a 40% discount if you would like to have them inspect and do maintenance on your roofs. A lot of the idea behind this is we found that in the last few years when we had some big storms, we were paying for a lot of roof damage on roofs that should have been replaced before that anyway. So that created a problem for us, and we did change our coverage on a roof after several years of that. We will still pay replacement cost if your roof is in the first 80% of its life. But once it goes into that last 20%, then we're dropping down to actual cash value. So it's an encouragement to the counties to keep their roofs maintained, keep them in good shape. And this program is available at a discount if you'd like someone to work with you on that. We do various trainings. We have K-Camp Online University where you can go in and take classes. The on-site trainings, the most popular that we have on that is our defensive driving course. And that is one where we will come out and do defensive driving training for your employees. It's about a 2.5-hour class. And if you want all employees to take that, we will split it up and do a morning and an afternoon class so you can have half of them in one and half in the other. But it's just a good idea for your employees to try to make them aware of things they should be doing when they're driving to avoid accidents. It's also can help them personally because most insurance companies will give them a discount on their own car insurance if they can show the certificate where they passed that class. And then in the bottom part, the grant and incentive programs, the one that most people do take advantage of is the risk avoidance grant. And that's where we'll pay you $2,000 per year to reimburse you for something you've purchased that could help avoid risk. And that one, I think, most counties do take advantage of that every year. Usually it's a race between the sheriff and Road and Bridge on who gets to use it that time. But there's on the back of that sheet with the listing shows some of the eligible purchases. I know I was in one county earlier this year that they had some crumbling steps and rusting handrails on the front of their courthouse. Something like that is possible to get some reimbursement on too. So we encourage everybody to do that. And that one does not build up from year to year. So you need to use that $2,000 every year to be able to take advantage of it. So that's just a real quick run through our programs and services. More than anything else, then I'd just like to know, are there any concerns here or any questions, anything I can try and answer for you? You guys are really easy to get along with today. My card is in the left side of your folder. Like I said, I work part-time and I just work from home, so if you do want to get a hold of me, either cell phone or email is the best way to do that. I am rarely in the office, and I won't guarantee you that I could answer all your questions immediately, but I can definitely get you to the right person in the office that can. And other than that, I just appreciate your time this afternoon, and thank you for being a member of K-Camp. All right, well, thank you.
Thanks.
Ooh, right on time. Project discussion. This would be Mike. Probably had this one put on the agenda, so.
Yes, he did.
Last time, anytime the rains, drainages from Jets, I guess, dumps right on the corner of the parking lot, as well as that canopy or whatever we wanna call it. So I think this winter could have the potential of being an ice skating ring. I think that gutter thing that they started on the west side of the building, if they could take that clear to the street, would eliminate that one. What we do up front, I guess, would need looked at, I think. It'd be nice to maybe make that safer by winter if that's a possibility. That's where we are on that.
What's your solution?
They put that little, started the gutter there right on Days on the west side of the building, but it dumps right on the parking lot.
Yeah, it just comes back out
So
around.
Becomes to the from the buildings.
So if it could continue clear of the street, I think was where we'd wanna dump it.
We'd have to-
Drain has a parking lot now.
Is it concrete to concrete there? Would we have to be blowing out concrete
Yeah,
Probably.
and pour some kind of curb to keep it on the west side, all the way out to the street?
new curbing.
Or just trying to kick out ideas rather than blowing out brand new concrete. So
Right now, what we do, we cut the curb till it comes out of the water bed back. It was overflowing.
Okay.
So it's been draining good lately. And one positive, it's on the south side, so the sun gets that first. Ice always melts there first anyway.
yeah, north side always holds ice.
And drains off the roof, it spreads it out real thin when it comes out. They got two big pipes coming down. And there's never water standing in the parking lot the next day. But it drains well. But you're talking a $10,000 gig to do that probably.
Well, I didn't design it, but I know
Yeah.
we just need one person, even an employee, to slip and fall. Where are we?
Do you have a thought about the drainage for the canopy?
Well, somebody said something about, well, if you're gonna drain it, but I think that's the backside. You know, they ran that pipe clear to that east street, so. Should have been thought of in the initial planning.
The roof drains into 6-inch pipe going east.
So that's the one that somebody was talking about, well, thought that was a big, went to a drain or something, which is the
Goes to
backside.
the ditch behind
And
the
it goes
school.
clear to east to the streets. How to get it away from there. That should have been thought of when they designed it.
Was that drainage ever part of the engineering plan or the architects?
Which drainage? Yeah, I mean,
On the parking lots and stuff like that, usually there is a slope to get water away. But that doesn't get the last quarter inch off the parking lot in a freezing situation.
with stuff coming off Davy Head, it's water curve from the county shop, and that's where the exits go to the street. Water comes that far away, and nobody realized that.
I mean, the little gutter that they started along the buildings, keeping it away from the building, but then that water is dumping, which there's a slight slope to the south and east, so if you watch it when it's raining, it just runs right out there. Not that it would be every day, but somewhere in the next 50 years, there's gonna be ice buildup at night, overnight or something freezes and falls off.
Way worse than the steps of the courthouse.
I guess I'd have to see it for myself. I know Indigo Road floods over once every 5 years or 10 years, and to fix that would be 6 or 7 extra culverts added in for once every 10-year event. And so, I mean, it's just really not feasible, so I don't know what the risk is there.
How much money are you gonna have to throw at it?
Not this year.
We got none this year. Alright,
Come out of the health department budget.
well, I think we all should probably evaluate it and see what it looks like.
Who's gonna get evaluated?
Us, Mike's already evaluated it. The rest of us can, when it's raining, maybe stop by and check it out. And look
I
at it.
think it'll be fine. No worse than any business downtown. As far as the rain coming off the building and hitting the sidewalk.
See, it just seems to me like you get something new, you spent that kind of money on it. It should have been fine.
I feel it is.
This year's been
A wet one.
an extraordinary wet year. How often is that?
2 years ago was extreme drought.
Right.
So,
I would have thought those building projects would have been planned for the extremes though. I mean, when you're building something, okay, what's the worst case scenario? Okay, we need more pitch here. It seemed to me like, why don't you do that when you're building it?
there's more structural put into those things, like wind ratings and support for snow load.
There's a silver inch drop in the parking lot.
Until I look at it myself, I got not for or against it yet, so. Anybody else have anything to put in on it?
Like I say, I'd like to see it when it, I mean, we can't rip up granite and concrete for 1 year's extraordinary rain events and.
Has water come in any of the doors more than once?
In the past, but I mean, right now, the issues with the building and the parking and the rain, like everything is okay as far as those things go. I think what Mike's concern is like in the winter, if the water that's being drained away from the building.
I understand that.
But yeah, Krista said that the drainage issues that they were having there for a while, where that water was coming down, that it's from the neighboring property, that is fine now.
It could advance out a little bit too. It doesn't just stay in a solid stream. Take a video next time it rains hard.
Yeah, do that. That's what I do for Steve everywhere when I drive a county roads when it's raining hard. I see where it's coming out of the fields and I take a video of it and I share it with him. So, alrighty. Okay, move on to board discussion on EMS director position.
Well, we were talking about there's another topic on there besides the health department.
I thought, yeah, alright. So, alright, that's Mike too.
I said it last week, so I'm still willing to give up my next 4 months' pay to just have somebody at $9 or $10 a square foot at our concrete.
So on that courthouse, that expansion project and that engineering sheet that I brought you before, within the current year budget, we did leave enough money to cover that project and potentially other things that would come up. So whether it comes in, at the price that Mike is saying, or whether it comes in at the $40,000 range, that is accounted for in the current year budget. So if the board wants to go ahead with it, we would need some authorization to do that and to get some bids to do that work.
I could agree with you on general slab on grade, but the only thing that holds me back on it is that retaining wall for the handicap ramp. If we don't, do we set ourselves up for any kind of issues if it begins to push or heave and just by, not doing it correctly? I mean, I'm not saying that the contractor wouldn't do it correctly, sometimes those things, when you're holding back earth, you've gotta have a little bit more engineering involved.
I would prefer to go ahead and go with the engineered design if we can, and then seek bids for that. We do have, we've got that pole out here that's gonna have to be dealt with and removed, and, that light pole, and Mike had suggested that we potentially replace the sidewalk going to the east, which is at the south end of it's at the north end of the parking lot. At the same time, I don't know that would really add much to this. I think Darren had no preference one way or the other on that, but I do think that we should be doing something fairly soon if we can to expand that and add that loading zone would be helpful.
But you'd like to find the handicap parking available all the time. You always see it.
We have 3 spots.
Yeah, and they're never all full. Anytime I've ever been here. I always park on one of that side of the place.
We still have the issue of there's no place for us to receive shipments. We want to avoid taking any of those handicap spaces up when we're trying to have things delivered here. We don't have a loading zone, those kind of
We have
things.
a warehouse.
What?
Need a warehouse.
I'm in the favor of just go ahead and move forward, seek bids. Where you're at with that.
Should you all the costs in here?
Just what they showed over there, just seek out the bids, you don't have to accept them, just move the ball forward. And then if it comes in way high and Mike thinks it's too high, and everybody thinks it's too high, then we just don't do it.
I concur. I mean, I agree, we need to have adequate, safe parking to allow handicap accessibility to the courthouse. And kinda like Mike, I think we can do it for less than that $44,000 estimate, but until we get some estimates and get some, I mean.
We need to have an official process and get the information, and then you can decide. Because I think that's worst case scenario, that's what they generally do, is that they try to put a higher estimate on it, so.
We can do this over here too then.
Not right now, no.
As far as a donation earmarked for a certain project, there's no, any individual citizens can do something like that, can't they?
Yes,
So it's got nothing to do with us, if somebody chooses to do that.
right. So, would you be willing to,
I would make a motion that we put a project proposal together and put it out for bids
Yes.
and move forward from that.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. 5-0. Okay, now it's 1:30.
I would put the option in there to concrete or pave
The whole approach
the whole approach
as an alternate.
as an alternate. If we've got somebody in here doing it, do it right.
Take it from the apron of the street all the way up, so at least there's a driveway staying on concrete, that way the gravel isn't getting pushed up on.
Yeah, so I would suggest that we at least put that in as an alternate, rather than coming back in later and saying, oh, well, now we wanna do this, and I mean, we have to have that option as an alternate.
As a realistic alternate. My alternate would be way unrealistic. I concrete the whole thing and put green dye in.
Well, that's what I would do too, just do it. That's that much less grass we gotta worry about maintaining.
Yeah.
But down the road, better off if we at least look at that alternative.
I don't have, anybody got a problem with adding that alternate?
No, might as well take a look at it.
Board discussion, EMS director position.
Probably 10 minutes would be fine on that.
I move that we recess into executive session to discuss consideration of a candidate for the EMS director position pursuant to KSA 75-4319B. One, personal matters, not elected personnel. Board, Tina, Brad, for 10 minutes until 1:40. Session to resume back in commission chambers following the closed session. Second by Kent. All in favor?
And if this discussion is to discuss the position as opposed to particular people, it cannot go
It's-
into
It's
It's for a candidate of a position. Yeah, maybe I didn't speak up.
You did, you said.
I mean, I said it, but maybe I didn't speak up. I have executive session, no decisions made. Yeah. So we'll just move on to Brad.
Couple of items, as per our discussion last time, talked about policy as well as the potential for resolution in terms of use of explosives and blasting and that kind of thing. It's a little bit more involved than I thought it would be. I did narrow it down and prepared a draft resolution that I want to have some additional staff review on, and the reason for that is the fire marshal gets involved with a lot of it. There's a lot of statutory authority as to certain types of blasting and that kind of thing, but you can still do an overlay of a resolution requiring permitting, notices. I can include things such as if we need civil standby by law enforcement, certain circumstances, storage, that sort of thing. So right now, it's a 1.5-page resolution that I've drafted, but I want to run that past some of the fire departments as well to see if there's anything else. Also, the International Building Code process gets involved in that. They've got a whole section on it. I didn't realize it was quite as detailed as it is as well. But I would like to get a little bit of staff review and input before I bring it to you, hopefully next week, for your initial review and input on it. The juror fees also, I'll bring that one next time for now that I think we're moving ahead with the budget. And then finally, the ballast resolution, I have not had a chance to go over that with Isaac yet. I did draft one in terms of a prohibition of it. So I use the vessels, but not the ballast element of them. So those three items I would hope to have on your agenda for either review or action next meeting.
I would like to add, back in March, we issued a right-of-way permit to Orsted and another one this week. And I sent some information to Brad and Tina. And correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that road right-of-ways, number one, the county doesn't own them all. The right-of-way is for public transportation and public utilities. We're issuing a public utility right-of-way to Orsted, which by statute is not considered a public utility. They're a private corporation. We have a road maintenance agreement with Orsted that specified roads and routes that they could use for their project. And now we're letting them, I don't know if the roads that they're using are within the scope of that road management agreement or not. But I feel that we should be using that road management agreement for their maintenance and operations and not a public utility right-of-way permit. I haven't had a chance to review that entire road management agreement to see what roads are authorized to use. I know this last project, they're coming in off timber, off 140th and basically coming down mud roads with their cranes. And I don't think those roads were part of the original road management agreement. And if they want to now use those roads, we should be looking at modifying that road management agreement rather than letting them dictate. I mean, the whole purpose of that road management agreement was to protect the county roads and provide them with the opportunity that they needed to operate their project. I think you responded that, yeah, that the right-of-way permit may not be the best route. The road management agreement may be a better route to.
Particularly when got yours late on Friday and I had some of the stuff in the office over the weekend. I started on it and did respond briefly, and I haven't talked with Tina or even anyone else about it yet. But I agree. On the road maintenance agreement, the intent is, for example, if you're going to increase the radius on a turn, that is probably not necessarily the place where we'll use a right-of-way permit. Also, the road maintenance agreement, I've been through that now with several counties. You can expand and amend that for that, just that purpose during the entire life of the project. So if you've got one of these 40-year kinds of viable projects, the intent is, at least based upon how those are written, for that to be used for a lot of those purposes. So I have more work to do with that as well, as I said in the message, but I do not at this point say, oh no, that wouldn't be a road maintenance agreement type of a topic. I think it may very well be.
Would we be allowed to utilize a separate permit process so that we have notification and we receive payment when they need to put things in and
Yes.
take them out? Because
And
that's
also-
one reason, I mean, that permit that we have doesn't fit every situation, but we at least know who's gonna be in our road right of way doing work, and we're able to monitor it that way, so.
Plus the potential for additional damage and outside the footprint of the road maintenance agreement, we need to expand that so that they're compelled to do the remediation on all of that. Can't just go in and lay it in, and then if we have a drainage problem, or the way they do it isn't really gonna meet standard for our purposes, and Road and Bridge get involved and say, wait a minute, what you did over there isn't gonna work for us at all. Well, we need to be able to enforce. So there's a fair amount of additional work that would go into that, and that road maintenance agreement would have to be amended, in my opinion, and that's what should probably be used in that kind of a case. But as part of that, a permitting requirement and a notice requirement's absolute, so it would need to be.
I know that, and I don't know if the crane, the company bringing the cranes in did it or not, but there's a road sign at 130th and Timber that was destroyed right after they brought the cranes in last week. Down a mud road over 10,000 pound limit bridges, and I just think that we need to have a little more control. I mean, they got the cranes in to put them up within the existing road management agreement or road maintenance agreement, whatever it is. And so we should be holding them to that. And if there's a logistical reason that they use something different, then we need to update that road maintenance agreement to cover that, rather than giving them carte blanche to use whatever roads they want to use. I mean,
That was the whole purpose
that
of
was
the
the whole
road.
purpose of the road maintenance
Keep
agreement.
them off our other roads.
Right. And so I just feel like, and I'm not trying to, I know I harp on the wind, but I'm not trying to stop them from doing what they need to do. But we need to have some, we obviously had some control when we developed the road maintenance agreement.
Right.
And so we need to maintain that control through the life of the project, or otherwise we might as well just throw that road maintenance agreement out the window.
The main focus, I think, was the construction of it for the road maintenance as
It-
we have, am I correct?
Yes, but it does include the ongoing provisions, because there was foresight enough to know you're gonna be coming back to do different things on these, may, in some instances, have to replace a pedestal. I don't know, what circumstances arise, but they do. I've got another one in another county where that occurs. Then they're still, in that one, for example, they're going in from another direction, using heavy equipment, and it is on those dirt or gravel roads, but then they're crossing several paved roads and just doing some fairly massive damage to that and caving it. Well, all of that had to be amended and reworked in that road maintenance agreement before they were allowed to even be permitted.
And I believe that the last one, the previous one, was avoiding our paved road because we didn't want it damaged. So I know there was, coordination with Road and Bridge and, as far as which would be the appropriate route. But I don't disagree that we probably need to update that agreement to encompass it, but we don't really have anything that fits perfectly right now.
It does contemplate that ongoing maintenance, but it does not go quite far enough with these kinds of things. And I noticed immediately on this last one, when they're looking at expanding a turning radius where they hadn't before, well, that's a completely new construction project on their roadway. No matter whether it's paved or it's dirt or it's minimum maintenance, it still needs to be dealt with.
I guess my question is, they didn't have that turn radius before, why do they need it now?
Yeah. And that's exactly why there's inquiry that needs to be made as to, okay, what is this all about and why is that occurring? And that really wasn't provided even in their permit application, so.
I did, I don't know if that part got into the packet, but I did ask for the information, like to specify. And Road and Bridge office knows now too that they need to make sure that we have more information on those permits when they come through.
And they did provide a little diagram map.
They provided the information that they have to replace
It's been sitting out there since last August. I mean, that generator went out within a month of them installing it, and they brought another generator in and replaced it without having to build that turn radius. So now just to get a truck in to get it out, why?
What's the purpose?
What's the purpose? I mean, if you got the new one in there without doing it, why can't you get the old one out? And like I say, I think that generator went out within a month of them installing it, and it's been sitting out there ever since. So I just feel like we need to go back to that maintenance agreement, and if we need to amend it, we go that route. But just to let them do what they want is a disservice to the county.
They take a different route and you say a 10-ton bridge and they collapse that. We got a whole nother thing we're talking about, so.
Yeah, and without, I mean, then it becomes he said, she said. Oh, we didn't do that, it was your bridge's fault. But if we're not controlling it, then I think that's the wrong route for the county to take.
And the permitting application that we use now, like Gina was saying, really isn't intended for that purpose. So them using that square peg round hole.
Right.
We need to adjust all of this. I agree. Okay. Contact them and start that process.
I just think, we need to ask more questions up front and say, okay, why can't you use what is already established? These cranes that they brought in, I mean, they take them down the paved roads anyway. I mean, one came from Nebraska and one came from somewhere else, so they're obviously driving on on paved roads to get here. And
You know, those big corporations like that seems to me like on a road, road maintenance agreement, after they've got the project built, they kind of forget about that thing was even there.
Yeah.
You know, and what kind of teeth can you put into it, and who's gonna enforce it?
I'm wondering, within their own company, who's like, we gotta pay for what and why?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm wondering that aspect of it, but that's nothing we can control, so. I mean, it's an extra expense that they never had to have before, and now they're gonna pay to have it done, and so. Anyway, anything else?
That's what I had for today.
Commission comments? Motion to adjourn.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
5-0.